Hi guys, I'm recording this video because I want to share with you what is my situation currently. Currently, sorry. So what is my situation now? Uh, I have a problem in my routine, and I want to change that. I've changed a lot of stuff on my routine. I'm more productive now, and I'm getting better results. But I also have like a problem that I want to share. I want to share everything so you can maybe get ideas from here to apply in your life. So how I'm trying to be more productive and get a better results is going to be the name of the video. Basically, I'm trying to have a good body. My the result that I want is have a good body, like eat well, have a lot of knowledge, have a business. So my dream is like live in Bali, live from my computers, just want my online business, go to a gym, and enjoy life. That is my dream. So I'm trying to achieve that, and this is what I'm doing. So basically, I woke up. I wake up 5 a.m. Sometimes 5:30, and then I go to the gym. For example, I today I went to the gym. I woke up 5:30, and I was in the gym 6 a.m. So I start my routine. The routine that I'm doing is pull, push, and leg. So are 3 days. Every when I complete the three days, I start the routine again. I I don't have rest day, so it's a really really hard routine. But it's not just for the body. Basically, it's to get a stronger mind. Because when you change you're more strong. You can be more productive and be more focused in another task. So when I finish my routine, I do a walk of 30 minutes, like in the gym, and usually I burn like 140 calories. And then I want to start running now because I did a run today. That is the video that I record today, but I already uploaded that video. So I did a run. Like today, I did leg day. I walked for 30 minutes. And I went for a run of 30 minutes or 5 kilometers. Was my first run and was really really good. Was so difficult, and I want to do that because like was so difficult that my mind starts to like I have to control my mind because my mind was saying me to stop in a point, and I have to try to convince myself to continue. So I think that that is going to help me to be more strong, have a better and stronger mind. Uh, well, here I put the app that I'm using to get better results. Basically, I'm tracking uh, all the reps and the weight that I'm doing. So I use this app that is really really good. I spent $130, like I bought 1 year, and I think I pay again for the pro version. Like I did 2 payments, but it's really really good. And the idea here is like track everything because I have to try to beat myself every time. So I don't have to compare with my people that have a worse condition than me or was a better condition than me, because if I compare with someone that have a worse condition than me, I want to feel good. I want to feel I'm not going to grow. It's not a motivation to grow. And when I compare with someone that is better than me, have a better physique, uh, it's going to be maybe it's going to desmotivate desmotivate me. and it's not a good idea stay comparing you with another people. You always have to compare with yourself. How you have to do that is uh, tracking all the weight that repetition that you do. So every time you have to try to be yourself. Um, yeah, trying to grow. Sorry. In the eating, this is all the day. I put this check because all the stuff that I am doing is, is where I'm not failing. So if you can see that here I am failing. But here in the eating, I'm tracking all my macros. And yeah, so I'm eating less food now, and it's difficult because sometimes I'm so hungry. Um, I think that is not a problem. Is I am distracted, but sometimes I work 11 hours on my job, and I in actually now in my job we don't have much clients, so it's very quiet and I don't have much tasks. So when I was in my job, sometimes I eat food and I get distracted with food. Now I can't do that, and imagine I stay trying to find tasks, doing nothing, and so hungry. Like that make me feel more stressful. So now that today I have free, it was really good. Like I get distracted reading, working on my stuff. So I think it's not a big problem. I'm eating less food, and uh, I'm doing more activity. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm walking, and I'm planning to start running. So it's a big shame because I was before I was eating the double of this. So maybe I was eating 3,000 between 3,000 and 4,000 calories. So this is are the my macros. I have to uh, I have to eat 206 grams, and in protein 141, and fat 66 grams. So if you want to calculate your macros, you can go here. So you have to put calculator net macros. I don't know what happened. There is. So here you go here, and you put your age, your weight, your height, your activity. I put here like exercise when that is not true, but it's the thing that my coach say me that I have to put this value, so I can. I think that he say me that because I can lose fat more fast. So and then I'm using this app that is my fitness pal. That this cost me like $100 per the year, but it's really really good. So you have to track all your macros. And yeah, now I'm eating all the day the same food because it's difficult to stay trying to new stuff or changing the food that you are eating. So it's more easy to have like the same meal every day. But obviously you want to change that, and you have to calculate that. So you have to take your time. So that is the eating. I eat all the day. And then reading and reflection, that I do this between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. So I read these three books: Unlimited Memory. I think that this is the author, Kevin Horsley. I'm reading this book because I'm studying English. So I want to learn technique to improve my memorization and can add English vocabulary on my mind. So I bought the book. I almost finished that book, and it's so helpful. If you have to memorize stuff easily, read this book. It's going to be so useful for you. Now I start reading the Bible. So I'm reading the in I think it's this version. Uh, I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. And this one. It's a good Bible, and it's really, really good. Read the Bible, like you have the truth there. So it's so important to learn how to live. So I'm reading like slowly. I start from Matthew because it's the most easy to understand and it's so helpful. And I'm not trying to read. I'm reading so slowly because I want to understand everything and reflect about that. And now we're reading this book that is Yados. This guy is a Spanish guy that live in Miami. He maybe is doing uh, 1 million of dollar per month. So he have this book. I think he have also a YouTube channel. He have a YouTube channel, but I think that he have an English version. If you want to search him and try to find him, it's really really good. So I reading this book, and it's a really really good book. Like this helped me a lot and check all my mindset. That is why I start this routine. I check everything what I'm doing, and yeah, I watched his video from 2018, and I never like invest on that because in the past I was thinking that he maybe can help me because I have a different business. He started with a fitness business, so I was doing another stuff. But now he's teaching about everything, like how to improve all the areas on your life. So read this book. Sorry, this book is not in English, but you can follow him in his English channel. And then this is the so I read and reflect about that and try to when I say reflect is I try to all the knowledge that I read and try to think of about the experience that I had and try to reflect in that, and I also try to apply all the knowledge in my day. So that is why it's really good to do this, like go to the gym in the morning because you want to start with the most difficult task and you wake up so early. So when you are here, you already did a lot of stuff. So you are not going to feel bad, you already did a lot of stuff and now you have all the day to work in your business. So this is so crazy. So in my business, I am failing here because I have I have to work. I have to work. I'm working 45 hours. Sometimes I work 11 hours. So I start 11 a.m. and I finish 10. So I have like 2 hours to to work on my stuff. Sometimes do some push-ups. I eat some food. So finally I have 1 hour left. So uh, yeah, I have like this incompatibility between my business and my job. So that is difficult, but the task that I have to do is try to memorize linking words, applying the technique that I read in the unlimited memory book. That is this one, because I am studying for this English test. Is the IELTS. I explained in another videos that I have this website that is to help people to give an English test because before to come to here Australia, I did this test, and when I was studying for this test, I realized that I can automatize some stuff with AI. So I create the website, but I spent like 1 year doing the website, and I was so desperate. Like I didn't work more on my website. That I did the IELTS without studying. I didn't use my website. I didn't did marketing anything. And then I came here to Australia. Uh, so now I'm trying to record, give the IELTS again, but record all the process. That is something that no one did until now. Then like offer a lot of value with my videos that people can get some extra with my website. That is the idea. Now I have not enough. I don't have traffic. Like the 12 visitor, maybe 10 is me. So it's not traffic, and I have to fix that. Sorry. So I'm trying to fix that with the YouTube video before I try to do it with TikTok video. But I was teaching how to improve your writing, how to get a good score in the IELTS when I didn't, because I got like a medium going to bad score. So was it's not a good idea teach something that you don't know. So now uh, I have this another task that is record every day my process. That is what I'm doing now, trying to offer value to you, because now I think that if you give value, God is going to give you a return. It's like it's like the game is programmed like that, you know. You have to help people, and people is going to be grateful with you, and God is going to give you that in return. So I'm recording all the process. Like I just want to help. I don't care about these videos, but yeah, record all the process. Uh, because I'm doing this a challenge, so I pay this guy. That is the guy that we have here. Is the author of this book that I was telling you. So he have like an university, and he have a challenge of 3 months, 90 days, where you have to do this routine. You have to wake up 5 a.m., go to the gym, track your macros, read and reflect, and then work in your business. So I pay him like $1,000 American dollars to enter in his university. Yeah, I'm in the day 5, and I really see the change so fast. Uh, it's crazy. I'm eating less food. I feel with more energy. I go to the gym. I spend like 4 hours doing exercise. Uh, I have more knowledge because I read a lot. Uh, when I not read a lot, but I read every day, and I try to apply that. That is so important. And I put in all the action. How I demonstrate that, I recording these videos. I just trying to record videos. I don't care about the quality, but otherwise I try to change something to improve. So I'm trying to do this. For example, this thumbnails. I made this thumbnail with AI, but before I didn't. For example, yeah, I'm trying to try a lot of stuff and record, like put the action and don't care about the quality. But I was trying to improve, you know. I hope that you can understand me. But the result of in this channel are really bad. I don't have views. I don't have any subscriptions. Like the video where I have more views are this one that they have 22 views. That is where I explain how I'm trying to reach 10K monthly recurrent revenue with my SaaS. Yeah, I'm just putting all the job every day. But what I wanted to explain is that I have this error that I can fit my job with my business. For example, today and tomorrow are my free days, so I have all the day to work in my business. But sometimes, like I work 11 hours 3 days in the week, and 2 days I work from 4 to 10. So I realized that I'm not putting all the job in this task that is the most important, because I have to do this English test and I have to get the knowledge to record more videos. So what I'm doing now is that I have to invest more hours on that in this task. That is difficult for me because I don't have much motivation. Like if I'm going to the gym, like these tasks are not so easy, but are easy compared with this, because in this is more difficult to concentrate. But I have to develop discipline in this area. What I'm doing now, that I pay this app, Focus Keeper, so I'm trying to uh, register, uh, like track the hours that I spent studying for the IELTS test, for reading and reflection, recording for uh, recording and editing video for the IELTS channels and this channel. So four tasks. So I'm tracking all the hours and to register that and trying to beat myself. If I spend 1 hour 2 days studying for this, tomorrow I have to spend 2 hours or more. So that is the idea, like track and register all the data, all the hours that you are working, the same like here with the macros, uh, with the gym sessions. Like you have to track everything because it's the only way that you can beat yourself, and you have to beat yourself because you have to be better than yesterday every day. So if not, you are not going to grow. So that is what I wanted to share. I hope that was useful for you, and I want to keep recording everything. Maybe I want to record too, and I don't want to fail. Let's see what happened in these 90 days. So it's the day 5, and yeah, that is. See you.